feel inside my chest. Hear it cry, hear it crack. I'm not crawling back, so watch me burn it down. Every lie you built your kingdom on.
Alrighty, happy Saturday evening, podcast viewers, ladies, gentlemen, and podcast enthusiasts. Welcome to the first ever edition of the Burn It Down Bet edition. Is that right, Ross?
Betcast. We'll call it the Betcast, Josh. But yeah, we're trying something new this week. We're going to see if our bet knowledge will pay off for the viewers.
Absolutely. So you and I have been doing this little snake draft with DraftKings for several weeks now, and I think it kind of gave us the foundation to do some of this. I know we both like doing a little bit of educated wagering, so I thought it might be a fun little segment. So I know you've got some stats that you wanted to share, and then we could just kind of go through the categories. Obviously, we're fresh off qualifying. Tyler Reddick will start on the pole for tomorrow at Kansas Speedway. And we're going to do our best to give you our quote-unquote expert analysis picks. Take that lightly. We were going to do our best. So, Ross, what are some stats you'd like to throw out for our listeners here?
Yeah, absolutely. But first, let's just call it what it is. We are degenerates, and that's what we are. So
Absolutely.
We'll go from there. So I've pulled some stats for the Advent Health 400 this weekend at Kansas Motor Speedway. Some interesting stats that should help us with our bets, I hope, so we can all get rich together. This is actually the same tire package that debuted last fall at Kansas. This tire package has ran at Kansas, both Las Vegas races, the last two Las Vegas races, and Darlington, and then again this weekend. So this will be the fifth time. Denny Hamlin has 2 wins with this tire package. Dominated at Vegas earlier this year, obviously, and actually kind of dominated last fall at Kansas. So he's been very good with this tire package. Tyler Reddick, as we saw in qualifying, also very good with this tire package. Has a win at Darlington. Chase Elliott has been hit or miss. He's another notable that's been hit or miss with this tire package. As we go to track stats, Kyle Larson is an obvious beast at Kansas. He has 2 wins and 499 laps led in the next-gen era. He is the leader in both of those categories, so he's obviously someone you want to keep an eye on. And let's see, another notable guy, Austin Cindric, 0 top 10s, 24.6 average finish at Kansas. He is someone you would like to avoid. All right,
Wow.
That's all my stats for now, and let's get into what you want to get to.
Yeah, so I guess you thought of this idea, and I think this is the best way to do it. Let's give our viewers / listeners, our audience, kind of an outright winner that we're going for that we feel really confident about. Maybe a long shot winner, and then we can go top 5, top 10, lock it in, or kind of a long shot. So, a couple guys to avoid, and then we can look at some DraftKings if you're playing classic DraftKings or doing the snake draft like Ross and I like doing. Maybe some players to look value-wise and some players to avoid. So let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the overall easy money, so to say. Your most favorite pick to win this weekend. I'll start it off. I think Denny Hamlin. I mean, you just went over some of his stats. He's really good with this tire. Toyotas are insanely fast right now. The last time we looked, I think the books had him at about 4-1 odds. It'll probably go down a little bit. It might be closer to 3 or 3.5, but I like Denny Hamlin for tripling your money.
I agree, Josh. He is also my best bet pick. I also considered Christopher Bell. Great practice times on the 30-lap run, but what I like about Denny is the lack of mistakes. So I'm going to go with Denny as my best bet for today, or tomorrow, excuse me.
Perfect. Ross, give me 2 top 5 locks that you have.
Oh, gosh. All right. If I was going to do locks, I would say obviously Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell would be my locks, but the odds are not great. If I'm going with odds, I'm going to go with Chase Briscoe. He was a plus 180 earlier. Pretty good for a Gibbs car to have plus odds. And also Ty Gibbs at plus 200, who has also been running really well with his tire, as we saw at Darlington and at Las Vegas.
I like both of those picks. I don't think you can go wrong with really any Toyotas, and the Gibbs are 2311 stable. My 2 top 5 locks, you and I picked one of them that are the same. I had Ty Gibbs, our winner from Bristol last week. I know you're still getting over that, so I hope you're doing okay over there. So give me Ty Gibbs for a top 5. Momentum's a real thing. And then Tyler Reddick, our pole sitter, 2311. I don't know the exact stats on this, but this has to be one of their best tracks in their company's history. So I love Tyler Reddick for a top 5 lock. Next, let's move on to our lawn shot top 5s. I'll start with this and then we'll go to you. Kind of a lawn shot, but maybe not so much of a lawn shot. Give me Carson Hocevar for a top 5. Had a really good qualifying effort. It looks like Spires had a good amount of speed, so I like Carson Hocevar for a top 5. And then I don't know if this would really be considered a lawn shot or not, maybe just based off where he qualified, but give me Chase Elliott for a top 5. You alluded to it earlier. This is one of Chase's best tracks. He stole the win from Denny and Bubba last year. He ran really good at Las Vegas as well. So I like Chase Elliott for a top 5.
Love it, Josh. I actually really like Ross Chastain for a long shot top 5. Now, Ross and Trackhouse do not have a lot of speed right now, but what Ross does at Kansas is find finishes. He does have a win there. He has a couple of top 5s and top 10s in the next gen area. He did struggle a little bit last year, so I'm a little worried about that, but he is my number 1 long shot. Number 2 is actually not really a long shot, and his odds will definitely go down overnight, but Bubba Wallace was a plus 280. That's pretty good odds for Bubba Wallace, a guy who has won at Kansas before the next gen era and probably should have more wins than anybody. He should have got a second win last fall. So
absolutely. Bubba Wallace will roll off P10 tomorrow, so I do like those odds as well. Let's go to our locks for top 10s now. Speaking of the devil, give me Bubba Wallace for a top 10 lock tomorrow. I think you just said it. This is one of his best tracks, Toyota. He's got a win here. I think he maybe had a little bit of a bobble in qualifying. I think even Harvick said, I don't think he's going to be thrilled about that lap. I think he can probably easily run up in the top 5 tomorrow, so I really like Bubba for a top 10. And he got a new Jackman this week, although he just got injured, unfortunately. So he's got another new Jackman. But give me Ryan Blaney for a top 10. I don't think Blaney will be necessarily contending for the win unless something crazy happens. But I like Blaney for a good 6th to 9th place run for tomorrow night.
Speaking of Ryan Blaney, I'm not trying to put a damper on your house right there, but Penske, 32 next-gen starts, only 7 top 10s at Kansas. So it's been a struggle track for them. Ryan Blaney has 2 top 5s. Joe Logano has 1, so they only have 3 top 5s as a company, Kansas. So maybe a breakthrough. Now, Ryan has ran way better last 2 races there, so maybe they found something. We'll see. They were also cordon tires in practice, so that could be a little rough. All right, my 2, going Chris Buescher. He had pretty good odds earlier, so I'm going to go with Chris Buescher, almost even odds. Looked to be pretty good in practice. Him and Brad have ran really good with this tire, so I'm throwing all 3 RFKs guys in locks for top 10s.
Wow.
Yeah, Brad plus money 210. Ryan Preece also plus 210. They could make you a little bit of money if things go right.
Yeah, I like it. Why not? RFK has definitely been really fast. Give me 2 drivers you think is a long shot for a top 10. Where's my value at, Ross?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to save one for you, but I think you got to go in the Toyota camp, and I think you got to go Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek. They're still a Toyota. Even though they're not fast like the other Toyotas, they're still Toyota, and they might can make things happen. They seem to be able to turn in the center of the corners. Big deal at Kansas on long runs, and I love Eric Jones on a long run, so give me those 2 guys.
All right, I like it. I'm going to stay in the Toyota camp for one of my lawn shots. Give me Mr. Corey Heim. Corey will be running at Kansas this weekend for 2311. Not the best qualifying effort, starting, I believe, 24th tomorrow, but I like Corey Heim to get up in the top 10 as a little bit of a long shot. This next one might surprise you a little bit. When I was at Kansas with Rob and Evan, I believe this driver ran really well. Give me SVG for a lawn shot top 10 at Kansas.
I love that pick. He looked really good the last part of practice, and then he got his car turned in qualifying. I think he put up a good speed, so great pick there.
Thank you. All right, so hopefully that gives you guys some insights for an outright winner, some lawn shots, and hopefully some locks for top 5s, top 10s. Let's kind of transition to a DraftKings lineup here, Ross. Kind of classic DraftKings rules. We want to look at who's going to be running fast laps, who's going to be leading laps, and then if there's any kind of sneaky guys for position differential. Give me a couple dominators that I definitely need in my DraftKings lineup this weekend.
My 2 dominators this week are going to be Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. Now, Larson's starting up front. I still don't trust those Chevy noses. They got speed down the straightaways, look like in practice and qualifying, but I'm still worried about the turning. I'm still worried about the long runs. So I'm going to avoid the Chevys this week. It's going to be a heavy Toyota lineup for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you can go wrong with any Toyotas. My 2 dominators are Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick. Mainly Tyler Reddick just because I love that pole position. We've seen how hard and difficult it can be to pass, especially early on. So if Tyler Reddick can get a really good start, I like him for leading a lot of the opening stage. And even if he does fall back, I don't see him falling back much further than outside the top 5. I think he's going to probably be pretty solid in the top 5 all day. I think Denny can certainly get up there and lead a bunch of laps. If it's anything like he ran close to Las Vegas, the 11 was on an absolute rail. So you definitely don't want to have Denny Hamlin out of your lineup, but really any combination of if you want to spend that high dollar, I would definitely grab Denny Hamlin and then another Toyota. Bell or Reddick would be either one. Let's look at a couple of value pits potentially for DraftKings. We already alluded to him earlier. I think Corey Heim starting in 24th is going to be a really good value pick for DraftKings. I think you'll get some position differential there. Even if he can get up inside the top 20, starting 24th, that's going to be a pretty good value pick, I think. Let me see real quick. We did have our DraftKings update, so even though we were waiting for some of the books to come out, we can go ahead and speak a little bit more on the DraftKings. I actually just did a temporary lineup, and they've got Corey Heim for $6,900 on DraftKings starting P24. So
that sounds like a great
I really,
deal.
really like that value pick. Another Toyota. You already talked about him, Ross. John Hunter Nemechek starting 32nd. $6,000 on DraftKings.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. I'll tell you someone I really like. This man, if he can just, they stay ahead of on strategy. I like Todd Gilliland. He's a 5,800 on DraftKings. I think he if he can stay on the lead lap through most of the race, I think you're looking at a decent finish there.
Absolutely.
He's starting P.
Yep, I like that a lot. Now, Ross, you might have more to add because I'm still trying to hit that perfect formula for DraftKings. I've yet to hit it big. I know you had a really good win at Martinsville earlier this year. Is there a specific formula that you look for when you're picking your DraftKings lineup for just a classic, the 6-driver lineup?
Well, as time's gone on, it seems like you really need to make sure you get that guy that leads a lot of laps. That's number one. And you got to have a couple guys that move up. Not many, a few. And you got to make sure you do not load your lineup with too top heavy and too bottom heavy.
Yep, I'm with you there. I haven't had great success with this, so I'm still kind of scrambling a little bit. So take this with a grain of sand. But my kind of go-to recently has been, like you, let's try to invest in that guy that we think is going to be up front leading laps a lot. I kind of go for 2 heavy hitters. So like we talked about, you want 2 of your quote-unquote dominators where you're going to spend that heavy money. And then I kind of go back and forth between the value picks and then guys that I just feel like are going to be running solid top 5, top 10. And then obviously sometimes you get left with one bum and you're just really hoping for some position differential and some value there.
Yes, the last few weeks I've actually gone with 3 dominators. So that's been more successful for me personally. But the problem is you got to have those bottom guys. I've gotten lucky with Todd Gilliland a couple times and guys like that who survive all race and get there at the end. And if you pick the right ones of those, you can make a lot of money.
Well, I think that about does it, unless you have anything else, Ross. I think this is a great first edition of our Burn It Down Betcast. Next time we will hopefully have the books open so that we can really talk specific odds. I know you took some screenshots earlier, Ross, so thank you for preparing for that. Hopefully you guys made some nice money this weekend, FanDuel, DraftKings. Always remember, bet responsibly, have a good time, and good luck on those DraftKings lineups too. I'm sure we'll be getting ready to do our snake draft here in a little while, Ross.
Absolutely. Let's do as many as we can.